Hello world. Okay, I am going to keep my work on the classic F1 that I started showing you last time. Last time I had figured out the proportions based on the blueprints that I have. And now I've started a new assembly file on Inventor, and I have started placing, so elements that I already have are aluminum pods as well as the upper plates of the pods that I have designed for the F103 GT from Tamiya. So I'm going to be using the same pod dimensions over there. And so what I have done so far is figured out on the F103 chassis the spacing between the mounting of the pods and the mounting of the front assemblies. Those front assemblies are pretty much always the same on all the F1 cars. So no matter what brand you buy, you're going to have those two mounting holes and then those two slots over there. So I've based it on the rear mounting hole and the forward mounting hole of the pods. The dimensions on this chassis is 21.5 cm and the wheelbase is 25. My new wheelbase needs to be 27, so I had 2 cm to it, which is why you see 23.5 over here between the rear hole and the front, the back mounting hole of the front assembly here. So this is my general dimensions, and now I need to figure out how I'm going to work on the basic shape of the chassis. So I have figured that the rear is going to be 80 wide and the front is going to be 40 wide. I need to know how far to the front do I need to stop the chassis. This is a traditional F1 car, which is the TRF 102. So this is a competition chassis, and so you can always mount all the front bumpers and diffusers and so on of the F1 cars pretty much from brand to brand. So I want to keep that so I can use the chassis plate for more traditional F1s as well. So between the front mounting hole and the front of the chassis there is 10.5, 11 mil. Yeah, that's an 11 mil to this place over there. So I'm going to try to keep all of those pretty much standard, so the chassis is going to be usable. So we have 11 here, and then we have a general size here of 35 on the F104. So I want to keep these points alive, basically. Okay, so from here to here, we are at, this is where we want to be. So I got to figure out how do I want these plates to be. I don't think I want something perfectly straight. I want to be able to play with the flex in the plates. So I'm thinking about having slight curve, just so the flex is not linear across the chassis and just general cool looking, but at the same time, let's see how it goes with the curve. I think this would be pretty neat. And so this is going to be symmetrical. What is not going to be symmetrical is the pods over there. The pods are not symmetrical because on one side you have the gearing, the spur gear, and the differential, and on the other side you just have the wheel sticking out, so it's always displaced a little bit from the center in order to have all the differential on one side. So the thing that I'm going to do is I am using my what I call relief cuts in the chassis over there in order to simplify all the assembly of the car, and it's a single plate from the rear to the front, as opposed to existing RC cars that have a lot of different way to attach flex plates and pivot points and so on. And I think I'm going to go to a little bit wider. What do I have now? I have 15 mil, 16 mil. I might go all the way to 20 because this is going to be a fairly long chassis. So I think relief cut at about 20, and the amount of flex that I want to have is going to depend on the amount that I cut through the chassis. So I don't think I'm going to go crazy because there's going to be dampening as well. I think I'm going to go about 30 insides, but I'm going to have, I'm not going to have a straight cut. So this is going to be straight cut for about 30 mil. And then I'm going to angle my cut. How many degrees it is? Pretty random. It's just to have more strength between the pod and the mounting of the T-plate. So I think something like that is going to work out pretty well. Okay, so this, and then we have 30 mil hole over here. So this is 3 mil, sorry, and 3 mil here. Okay, so this is all that I'm going to need. I don't need to keep the dimensions over there. I have them now, and I'm going to cut through so I can mirror that to the other side. And I will do all oh, see, that's a mistake. That is a big mistake, because this is attached to the plate. This is a solid piece. Okay, so I think this is fairly nice over there, and we're going to mirror that. I don't have a line. Oh, I must have just cut it. Okay, let's put the line back here. I'm going to keep this dimension for reference, and we mirror over there, and that's going to give us our chassis. Okay, so we're done with the basic chassis size. And so from that point, well, I have everything to figure out now, because I need to figure out the height that I'm going to need for those enormous tires that I'm using. You can see at the moment I have used about, I'd say 13, 14 mil. Yeah, 13 mil height adapter at the back over there. However, I'm not sure the pods are the same thickness. They look similar, so I think I'm going to need something similar than that over there. I'm going to need something similar underneath in the front, but all of the middle part is going to be completely rethought and redesigned. So I am going to finish the design of the chassis plate first of all. I'm going to extrude it so it looks nice. I'm going to figure out the height that I want and place height adjusters at the back. Now I've had a diffuser, you see over there. Do I want to be able to install a diffuser? Possibly. That would be very easy actually, to just make some holes at the back over there and then be able to attach, design any diffuser. I think this is something I'm going to do. So on the back plate over here, it is very narrow at the moment. I think I will increase a little bit, probably 10 mil. And so this way I'm going to be able to put diffusers inside easily. Now I have no idea if my shape is not closed, so I'm going to have to close the shape before I can extrude it. So I'll do this. Next time around I'll come back with a nicely done chassis plate, but so you can see pretty much what the chassis plate is going to look like, the general dimensions. I'm going to have to figure out over there where I'm going to have the cuts that are mounting over here, although I'm not going to need them for this particular front end, because I have a new height So the front ends are not directly mounting onto the chassis plate, but I want to have it because, once again, this is a chassis I'm going to be able to use for GT purpose and F1 purpose, and this particular vintage design. Okay, so this is going to end the very first part. I'm going to clean out these designs and come back next time with a finished chassis plate, and I will start to design on top of that and brainstorm how do I want to mount everything together. Okay, so hope this was useful. Something that I need to show you, although it's filthy because I've had that forever, but extremely useful 3D connection. It's a 3D mount. So this allows me to be able to manipulate the orientation of my 3D while I'm looking at it and while I'm sketching or extruding or so on. And so it's really useful. You have your two hands manipulating your screen and your 3D. So this is a super cool tool to get. Just check 3D connection with an X. Super nice 3D tool to have. Okay, so that's the end of part 2, and I'll come back very soon with more of the chassis designs. Bye-bye.